some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Hey guys, good morning. It is the 24th of June. I was going to say January and I was like, no, that's not right. That being said, still blonde under all of this hair changery. Good morning, Wolfram. Thank you for your modly mod duties. Spire, thank you. And I hope you have a great time with your husband. Jeff Montgomery, good morning. And let's see here. Super T. And I know there's more of you. 80s Music Man, Neon Gamer, Tammy Bogard, Carol Sue Scott, welcome. Tammy C.A. Let's see here. Speedy Gonzalez, Denise Sells, if I didn't say your name, Roland Arthur, good morning. So we have a lot of news and unfortunately a sad start to our morning. Mick Ralphs, founding member of Bad Company and Mott the Hoople, has passed away at 81. And Squaw Bob, welcome. Mick Ralphs, guitarist, singer, songwriter, and founding member of the classic British rock band Bad Company and Mott the Hoople, has passed away. A statement posted to Bad Company's official website Monday announced Ralph's death at 81. Ralph had a stroke days after what would be his final performance with the band at London's O2 Arena in 2016 and had been bedridden ever since. Now, no further details about the circumstances of his death were provided, but if he's been bedridden since 2016, his body's probably had, a lot of trauma to it. And, it's not good for us to be, kept in bed. I hope he was getting the best of care and didn't develop bed sores or anything like that. But it is really hard on your body when you are bedbound. Good morning, Squid Pro Quo. Welcome. Now, Ralphs is set to become a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Bad Company in November. Our Mick has passed. My heart just hit the ground, Bad Company singer Paul Rogers said in a statement. He left us with exceptional songs and memories. He was my friend, my songwriting partner, and an amazing and versatile guitarist who had a great sense of humor. Ralphs wrote the 1970s song Ready for Love for Mott the Hoople, later revamped for Bad Company's 1974 debut album, which also included Ralph's penned hit Can't Get Enough. He also co-wrote Bad Company's 1975 classic Feel Like Making Love. And if you ever feel like you need to kick ass, Feel Like Making Love is a kick-ass song. Like, you will reasonably feel like you can kick ass even while mowing the lawn with a push mower. I know I can attest to that. He was born in Stoke Lacey, Hertfordshire, England, and he began playing blues guitar as a teenager. In his early 20s in 1966, he co-founded the Doc Thomas Group. In 1969, the band would become Mott the Hoople, a name taken from a title and title character of a 1966 novel by Willard Manus. Look at the hair on those guys. You know what I will say is men with long hair that can just pull it off and they don't put any of the products or time that us girls do in trying to look, like we have nice long hair. It's unfair. It is. The group's self-titled first album, recorded in a week, won a cult following, but the two that followed were critical and financial flops. They finally found popular success and became glam rock giants with the 1972 David Bowie penned and produced song, All the Young Dudes. But Ralph felt creatively cramped in the band led by singer-songwriter Ian Hunter and left in 1973. He would soon form Bad Company with Rogers, a singer who had left his own band Free. The two had intended to only write songs together and possibly create a one-off album as a project, but when Free drummer Simon Kirke asked to sit in, they realized they were a nearly proper group already and went about seeking a bassist. They found former King Crimson member Boz Burrell. We didn't actually plan to have a band, Ralph says in a 2015 interview with Gibson Guitars. It was all kind of accidental, I suppose. Lucky, really. Kirk said in a statement Monday that Ralph's was a dear friend, songwriter, and exceptional guitarist, and that he will be missed deeply. Now, Bad Company found immediate success, and its albums were full of radio-ready anthems. Its live sound was perfectly suited to the 1970s height of arena rock. Their self-titled debut album went #1 on Billboard's Academy chart, and Ralph's Can't Get Enough, oftenly mistakenly called Can't Get Enough of Your Love because of its lyrics, would be their biggest single hit, peaking at #5 on the Billboard 100. And yeah, we need to, you know what? I say for today, we put on all of the great music of people that have passed and let Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, although I still have questions about that because you do realize a stallion is a boy horse. I feel like there's some confusion. Let them have their break for today, and we'll just listen to people who can actually play instruments. It'll be refreshing for a change. We actually did the whole thing in one take live, Ralph said in the Gibson interview. It wasn't perfect, but we just said, yeah, that's great. It's going to capture the moment. And that's what I like it to do in recording. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it captures the moment. That's what it's all about. Bad Company's 1975 follow-up, Straight Shooter, was also a hit, going to #3, both on the Billboard 100 in the US and UK albums chart. Its opening track, Good Love and Gone Bad, was written by Ralph's, was a modest hit, and a song that followed it, Feel Like Making Love, was a big one that would remain in rotation on classic rock stations for decades. In the band's statement, Ralph is survived by the love of his life, Susie Shavase, along with 2 children, 3 stepchildren, and beloved bandmates Rogers and Kirk. Our last conversation a few days ago, we shared a laugh, but it won't be our last. So sad, sad, and thank you for reaching out and giving us all your music, capturing those moments that made moments for the rest of us. So definitely, we're losing good musicians. Stop it. Now, I believe that the appearance of this person for the second time in less than 2 weeks on the Mornings with Mo, we might need to light a candle. Final Form Jesus might be on the approach because holy crap, y'all.
The key keep its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With 6-pack glistening sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Babs is back in the news. How does the Streisand effect not seem to dawn on her? Barbara Streisand is apparently still peeved off over her Fokker salary. They'd have to pay me a lot of money to do Meet the Parents 4. They'd have to pay me a lot of money to watch Meet the Parents 4. So, I mean, it seems like we're at an impasse here, Babs. Barbara Streisand is still giving well, a flying F about her Meet the Fockers salary. The EGOT winner, who appears in Meet the Parents franchise installments Meet the Fockers and Little Fockers, told Variety that she's still pissed off about the salary discrepancies among the ensemble cast. Ma'am, you have more money than like Jesus. What do you need money for? Why? Now, she played Ben Stiller's on-screen mother Roz with Dustin Hoffman as her husband. Now, the duo are in-law foils to Robert De Niro and Blythe Danner, the parents of Stiller's wife Terry Polo. A fourth Meet the Parents film was announced earlier this year with Stiller, De Niro, Danner, Polo, and Owen Wilson, who starred as Polo's ex, reprising their roles. However, Babs will not be returning, mostly because she's still bitching about not being paid enough on the first one. They'd have to pay me a lot of money because I didn't get paid what the other people who got paid, and I'm so pissed off, the icon said while promoting her album, The Secret of Life Partners Volume 2. Look, I recommend a lot of different music, but that's not going to be on my rotation. She added, I was in the time when women were getting paid less than men. The head of Universal was Ron Meyer at the time, and he actually sent me a bonus check. It was very sweet. Yet Streisand is working, parallel to the Meet the Parents universe. The singer is collaborating with Meet the Parents 4 actress Ariana Grande for a song, One Heart, One Voice. Again, must miss radio. No offense, Ariana Grande is a great soprano. She can hit the whistle notes, but her little girl voice bothers me, so ugh. So there you go. If you are going to see Meet the Parents 4, Babs isn't going to be in it. Temper your expectations. I'm not sure. I mean, are they making a Yentl too? Because I would probably see that. Or a Fiddler on the Roof. She could play all the parts and then get paid all the money. Sunrise, sunset. You know she doesn't like sharing the screen with anyone else. She does play an excellent neurotic, overbearing, and psychotic Jewish mother, so method acting worked for you, ma'am. That being said, I'm not going to, I'm probably not going to mourn the fact that Barbara Streisand is not going to be in this new movie, nor am I probably going to see the new movie. That being said, there you go. In another, I don't know if I should have to put out a public service warning about this, but if you are going to get surgery, do not go out partying right after. Your body has been through a trauma, regardless if it was elective surgery or not. Your body, internalizes it as an injury. Even if you were just going to get better boobs, still, your body sees it as an assault to its, its structures. Do not. A popular influencer went into cardiac arrest and passed away after undergoing plastic surgery just hours after partying with the surgeon in Turkey. Okay, again, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't party with your surgeon, just after getting plastic surgery, and possibly don't go to Turkey to get plastic surgery. Anna Barbara Burundi, 31, had traveled from Mozambique to Istanbul last Friday with her husband, Elgar Miles, to undergo several cosmetic procedures. Now, she had signed on to undergo a breast augmentation. And not to speak ill of the dead, but them boobies have already been enhanced. Like, are we enhancing to the triplicate? I don't understand. liposuction, a nose job, in return for promoting Tussa Hospital in Istanbul on social media, according to a local news outlet, O Tempo. She wanted to undergo these procedures to improve her aesthetic standards. It was a dream of hers, Miles told the outlet. Now, the couple who wed last month had inquired about changing the date of the operation, which was originally slated for Wednesday, to allow for an extra day of recovery. Due to scheduling issues, the surgeon decided to bring it forward to Sunday, Miles said, noting that the surgery took place just hours after they had partied with the physician. So not only do you have possible not street legal pharmaceuticals all through your bloodstream, which are detrimental to your heart and other things, but now you've put yourself under sedation with a doctor you are possibly having not street legal pharmaceuticals with. Does anyone see how this could be a problem? Now, we went to the clinic on Sunday just to see the place, but the doctor wanted to perform the procedure without Anna being prepared. Again, that's where you say, hell to the no, Hannibal. Not going to happen. Now, and while the duo were out with the doctor the night before, Miles claims that his wife was being persuaded to go ahead with the surgery just hours later. The doctor assured me that there were no problems and everything would be fine, Miles told local news outlet G1. Now, as a result, unfortunately, this young lady, Anna, who had boasted almost 800,000 Instagram followers and often shared singing videos on the platform, underwent the knife the following day and was out of the operating room by 11 p.m. Sunday. Incredibly sad. You are more than your body, your looks. You are your spirit, how you treat people. And it's so sad that this woman couldn't see beyond her outside, packaging to what she could give the world with, her, regularly enhanced boobies. Miles told the outlet he received a photo of his wife recovering and was told that she was still under anesthesia. They told me to go to the room and assistants were acting strangely. I waited for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to receive her. Hours later, doctors had come in to inform him that she passed away. I went down to the ground floor and the doctor said that her heart was beating slowly. Another one said that she was already dead. Now, doctors were detailed at the medical facility and okay, so it looks like the doctors were investigated by the police force, but released. Now, Tussa Hospital has since denied any malpractice and says its staff attempted to revive Anna after her surgery. Despite all the efforts in our expert anesthesiology team, the patient could not be resuscitated. They said in a statement obtained by a Turkish outlet, Turkey Today. The facility added that its staff is cooperating with authorities. Now, I do wonder what we're going to learn about the procedures and the practices, because it does sound like there was pressure to get this done quickly. Again, what kind of things were done? What was her medical history? Because these are all things that are going to be factored into what caused her to have a not so good reaction to anesthesiology. And thank you for your super chat. I am but a humble lawyer and I come in peace. Well, thank you. We should all attempt to arrive peacefully, if not maintain peaceableness. I found a pen. Ha. Just when I thought I'd put everything away, I found it. Thank you so much, MLS. Oh, I'm sorry. I will have to look at it. I honestly did not do it intentionally, but there is, let me look right now because I don't have anyone. No, you are not on my hidden user or my banned users, so that's odd. I'll have to look at it deeper later. Well, then we're on to, well, what the hell? Also, I would quit. You could not get me to work ever again if this happened to me. Not that you would probably ever want me to work as a plumber or anything somewhat related to that. You don't want me working on plumbing. I'm not good at anything, constructionology wise. Workers have found a 1,000-year-old mummy while installing pipes. Now, this was not in America, this was in Peru, so we probably don't have 1,000-year-old mummies, at least here, right now, that I know of. Peruvian utility workers recently found a 1,000-year-old mummy while installing pipes in Lima, their company said, confirming the latest discovery of pre-Hispanic tombs in the capital. Now, the worker found the trunk of a huarango tree, a species native to coastal Peru, which served as the tomb marker in the past, archaeologist Jesus Bahamonde, scientific coordinator of the Calida Utility Company, told reporters. Now, the mummy is that of a boy aged between 10 and 15 years old and was found at a depth of 20 inches. The burial and objects correspond to the style that was developed between 1000 and 1200, he said. The remains discovered Monday were found in a seated position with the arms and legs bent. Now, they were also found in a shroud which contained calabash gourds, ceramic objects including plates, bottles, jugs, decorated with geometric figures, and pictures of fishermen were also found with the mummy. Now, the tomb and artifacts belong to pre-Inca Chenye culture, which lived in Lima around the 11th to 15th centuries. They were discovered while gas workers were removing earth under an avenue in the Piedra district of northern Lima. Now, Jose Agalia, an archaeologist with the utility company, says that the unearthed mummy still had even some dark brown hair. We found remains and evidence of what could be a pre-Hispanic burial. In Peru, utility companies must hire archaeologists when drilling into the dirt because of possibilities of hitting, pretty much. Hitting on cultural or heritage sites, which is interesting and something I wish we would do in the more culturally sensitive or, places where there might be these kind of issues in America. Now, the utility company has since made more than 2,200 archaeological finds since 2004. Lima is home to over 500 archaeological sites, including dozens of hukias. Ancient cemeteries are known in the indigenous Chickawa language. I have probably butchering all of these pronunciations because it's in some kind of language that I don't know. It's very common to find archaeological remains on the Peruvian coast, including Lima. Many funerary elements, tombs, burials. Among those can also be mummified individuals. Peter Van Dalen, a dean of College of the Archaeologist of Peru. Now, Van Dalen, who is not involved in the discovery, said that mummies on the Peruvian coast are usually found mummified naturally, generally in deserted or desert areas where the skin is, going to be naturally mummified by sort of the climate. He explained that other unearthed remains have been found to have undergone, mummification procedures for a cultural reason. So there are sort of a mix of nature did this versus people did this. In April, archaeologists in Peru announced that they had found 5,000-year-old remains of a noblewoman in the sacred city of Caral, in an area which has for decades been used as a garbage dump. And just days before that, researchers carrying out excavation work in southern Peru found an ancient tomb filled with the remains of 24 people believed to be battle victims. So this is, while not, incredibly, awe-inspiring or out of the ordinary, this is definitely interesting. And I'm glad that we're learning so much about the history and culture, and that utility companies are required to have these, archaeologists on site so that they don't lose these sort of pieces of history in, further development. And then let me see. All right. I'm going to need y'all to gird your loins because I thought I had met the bounds of Lord Chippiness, but oh hell no. I met a story where we need like to double Lord Chippy and put him on steroids, juice him up because holy what the hell, y'all.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
Y'all, send him directly into the center of the sun. And no, I'm not talking about the current president in a, story that will make your skin crawl. Disneyland Paris booked for a sick $150,000 wedding between an adult man and a 9-year-old girl. Yes, you heard that right. Paris, what the hell? What the hell? Disneyland Paris workers were horrified to find a large wedding that they were hosting was between a man and a 9-year-old girl, with the groom and the child's bride's mom arrested in what is now thought to have been a sick $150,000 social media stunt. The French amusement park had been hired Saturday for a ceremony in front of the Sleeping Beauty castle, with no warning that the bride was just a child, La Parisienne reported. Now, some 300 guests and a string quartet arrived around 5 a.m., before the park was open for regular tourists, with horrified employees only then seeing how young the bride was, BFM TV reported. Now, the scared and confused little girl was wearing a wedding dress and 5-inch heels taped to her feet. And they let the pair... What? Now, staff called the police, who arrested 4 of those involved, including the would-be groom, a 22-year-old British national, BFM TV said. They also arrested the 41-year-old mother of the 9-year-old girl, both of whom had arrived in Paris from Ukraine 2 days before the sick ceremony, according to the report. Now, police also arrested 2 Latvian nationals, a 24-year-old woman recruited to play the role of the bride's sister, and a 55-year-old recruited to act as her father. The latter, who initiated the call to Disneyland Paris security, explained that he'd been recruited to play the role of the bride's father for $13,840 and had discovered at the last minute that the bride was only 9 years old. And thank tiny baby Jesus that a bunch of people saw this and was like, oh hell to the no. Deputy prosecutor of Mayox said in a statement. Now, French prosecutors are looking at whether the wedding was a sick stunt for social media, one that cost at least $150,000. Now, an ad was published online days earlier asking for extras, including 200 adults and 100 children between the ages of 5 and 15 to take part in a high-end wedding rehearsal, according to BFM TV. Now, the oblivious extras met around 4 a.m. Saturday in Paris, where a bus was waiting to take them to Disneyland. But at 6 a.m., park staff asked them to leave. We all thought we were going to be attending a wedding. Everyone was stunned. No one expected it, said one of the extras hired. What in the Hades and hell basket is going on here? This is how we get final form Jesus, y'all. This is how the hell we get it. Now, Disney did things very well. They canceled everything as soon as they realized the bride was a child. We were shocked to see that, they continued. Now, Around $150,000 was spent on hiring out the amusement park and paying for the extras, while the groom's appearance had been altered, according to BFMTV. The investigations, including a medical examination of the minor, a Ukrainian national, showed that she had not been subjected to any violence or coercive acts. Thanks Jesus, prosecutor's office said, suggesting that this was all some kind of weird, sick setup. Now, two people, the fake groom and the fake bride's sister, remain in custody and have been charged with fraud and breach of trust against Disneyland Paris, which has also filed a complaint against the pair. Now, both are scheduled to appear in court in the town of Mayoux on Monday as part of an ongoing and open judicial investigation. Disneyland Paris said it was fully cooperating with authorities in their investigation. What in the name of all that is unholy, holy, and goodness and hoodness is all of this sick bullcrap? Because if this was a stunt, there are real sick weirdos who actually would marry a 9-year-old girl because they are sick, disgusting weirdos. So this is not a joke that anyone would find funny. This is not a stunt. I mean, Balloon Boy was stretching the ability of my give a crap to deal with humanity. This makes me want to go, this makes me, want to go full Thanos snap, to be honest. Allegedly in my craft. Deviants more, I will keep a lookout for more updates on this. I think we are all kind of confused. But, and child marriage is unfortunately and sadly not a thing that is, completely and totally gone from this world. In fact, it's not even gone from America. There are still states in which, really young kids can be given permission by their parents to marry. So this is not a terror or this one particular case may have been a setup or a joke, but this is something that definitely needs to be talked about more. Children cannot consent to any of this. No 9-year-old can get married. We'll just have to agree that I'm right on that one, having known 9-year-olds. In a slight step down from monsterhood, we've got this particular numpty who looks like he's never seen a shower or soap. He gunned down his sister parents while 3 children were still in the house. An Arkansas man was arrested hours after 3 members of his family were found dead of force multiplier wounds in their home. In a pair of Facebook posts on Sunday, the Bryant Police Department stated that it responded to a call from a man who arrived at a home in Bryant to find both his wife and her parents dead after he returned from work that morning around 7:30 a.m. Now, 3 children were in the home at the time, but were thankfully unharmed. Later that same day, police announced that they had arrested a suspect identified as 34-year-old Jared Mitchell. Police did not release the names of the 3 deceased people, but stated that they were Mitchell's sister and parents. Now, according to police, the man who found the bodies was married to Mitchell's sister. When police arrived, they found no signs of forced entry into the home. Now, Mitchell was booked into the Saline County Detention Facility on 3 counts of first-degree murder, where he is being held without bail. Police did not share a possible motive for the alleged triple murder. According to court records, Mitchell has a history of nonviolent arrest in connection to drug charges, but was also committed to a detox facility against his will in 2017. On 6/18/17, he threatened his mother, her husband, and his sister, and he had knives laid around on a bed and one on his person. So then he was involuntarily put into a detox center to protect himself and others. Now, a petition for commitment was signed by Mitchell's grandparents, with whom he was living at the time of the reported threats. The judge who signed off on that That petition ordered Mitchell to be committed to a detox facility for no more than 21 days, stating that he was believed to be addicted to both alcohol and drugs, as well as, either a danger to himself or others. Now, he is being held on $2 million bond, local NBC affiliate KARK reported, and he is expected to appear in court on August 5th. So he definitely seems like he has a history of mental health struggles and addiction struggles. I don't know where that's going to particularly fall into what happened in this particular day. I can only be slightly thankful that this monster decided to leave the children alone, which unfortunately we haven't seen always happen in cases, which is why you get to meet Lord Chippy. That being said, have better business partners. You can't afford not to pay me. A man kidnapped, tased, and robbed his ex-business partner after warning that there would be consequences for ending their partnership. Well, I mean, don't you look like the America's Most Wanted? A Florida man who allegedly assaulted, robbed, and kidnapped his former business partner reportedly threatened that there would be consequences after their business partnership had dissolved. Alberto Interni, 39, is behind bars in Palm Beach County after police charged him with 6 felonies, including armed kidnapping, robbery with a firearm, and aggravated battery. His alleged victim, 39-year-old Jeremy Marcus, was a high school friend and former business partner who told the police that Alberto allegedly ambushed him in his car outside of a Lifetime gym location in Boca Raton on June 9th. Now, according to a probable cause statement reviewed by Law and Crime, Marcus told the police that, Alberto tased him, robbed him after reportedly telling him, "You can't afford to not pay me." Now, the probable cause statement described the fallout between Alberto and Marcus, who told police that the two men were longtime high school friends and had conducted business deals together for several years. Together, the pair ran businesses involving pawning firearms and real estate. But Marcus told police that he noted that Alberto was not being transparent with his part or his side of the real estate business and wanted to end their partnership. Marcus told police that after a $140,000 business deal in late 2024, he told Alberto that the amount was what they owed Marcus's mother, so they would end their business partnership and basically call it even. He described Alberto as being extremely upset about, him wanting to dissolve ties. Now, after their partnership dissolved, a statement said that Alberto continued to run himself further into debt, maxing out old credit cards and taking out loans he couldn't repay. One day in April, Alberto showed up at Marcus's workplace, jittery and possibly under the influence of not street legal pharmaceuticals, screaming and yelling. Now, Marcus asked him to leave. This incident, according to the statement, seemed to have been a turning point for Alberto, who then reportedly, began leaving the other man threatening voice messages on WhatsApp. And in those messages, to Marcus, Alberto would say, "You can't afford not to pay me. You can't afford it." Now, the voice messages reportedly became increasingly threatening. He also told Marcus, "Your mom's in the middle of it, so think clearly before you don't pay me. You have till Monday to pay me what we agreed upon." In another disturbing message, again, don't record your threats. I don't think your defense attorney is going to be too super duper happy about this. But, this is what we like to call evidence, and it looks like you are all the guilty. That being said, until a jury finds you all the guilty, we just have all the evidence that looks all the guilty. Now, he said, "Whatever happens from there is a consequence of your actions and your decisions, because I would not do this to you." Now, on the morning of June 9th, Marcus went to Lifetime Fitness location to work out. While walking back to his car after he was finished, he told the police that he felt what appeared to be 2 taser prongs going into his back. He then told the police that he estimated the taser attack to have lasted about a minute, and when he was able to look up, he allegedly saw Alberto standing over him. That's when Alberto allegedly switched out his taser for a force multiplier. Now, according to the statement, he allegedly forced Marcus into the back seat of Alberto's truck, where Marcus was told to put a pair of handcuffs on himself. Marcus asked Alberto what he was doing and told the police that his ex-business partner looked like he wanted to end his life. While Alberto allegedly held his friend captive, he forced Marcus to have his mother wire $50,000 to Alberto, telling her it was time sensitive and that he would explain circumstances later. Marcus also tried to call 911 while he was handcuffed, but was unable to complete the call after Alberto took his phone away. However, the bank was not open, so the two men drove around for a while and went to Starbucks. Eventually, they made it back to Marcus's home, where Alberto allegedly robbed him of a Rolex watch, $30,000 in cash, and several firearms. Alberto then let Marcus take a shower and patch up the laceration on his head before dropping him back at the Lifetime gym. Now, Marcus waited all day to call the police after trying to view surveillance footage from the gym, but he was denied access to that footage. Now, during their investigation into Marcus's claims, police were able to view the footage, which did show his alleged taser attack as well as his vehicle. After compiling more evidence, including the Starbucks receipt and the aborted 911 call, the police were able to obtain a warrant and arrest Alberto on the 19th. Now, he has been charged with armed kidnapping, armed robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery, grand theft larceny less than $5,000 for the firearms, grand theft larceny of more than $20,000 but less than $100,000, and tampering with a witness. He is being held without bail, which is what you should probably not let him out, because apparently this man has watched one too many Breaking Bad episodes and obviously needs to be, kept away from the rest of us. Freaking ridiculous. What is going on in the world? Let's get off of all the bad stuff and into some interesting stuff. We have a New York class graduating class who had 15 sets of twins. What was in the water in that town? And I am staying the hell away from it. Attendees at a high school graduation on New York's Long Island were left seeing double when 15 sets of twins walked across the stage to accept their diplomas. The class of 2025 at Plainview Old Bethpage John F. Kennedy High School walked across the graduation stage Saturday, and among them were 15 sets of twins. Now, some of the students said they didn't notice the unusually high number of twins until some of the mothers started noticing. We're friends with a lot of them, but we never counted until our mom and a few of the other twin moms took a count. Twin Chloe Manzano told Greater Long Island. We were like, what? Principal Heather DeVrock said the school previously saw 9 sets of twins and 1 set of triplets graduate together in 2014. Each class has their own unique culture and vibe, DeVark said to Newsday. This year, I knew coming in that they were going to be very unified. All 15 sets of twins in the class of 2025 are fraternal and not identical, so teachers have been spared the possibility of mistaken identity. Most, if not all, have been in the district since kindergarten, Timothy Lamb, the school's assistant principal, told Today.com. Many met as infants because the parents joined the local Parents of Twins group. They're all very friendly with each other. They're all close. It's kind of like they have their own unique clique. So there you go. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't near Long Island. I don't know that any of my children should have been a twin, okay? So marked safe from the twinness. Again, I know I'm not y'all's mom, but don't dive headfirst into a place where you don't know what's underneath the water. Unfortunately, 3 men did, and they lost their lives. So don't go diving into, places you don't know. Hiking and outdoor adventuring can be dangerous hobbies, and unfortunately, the consequences were fatal for a group of hikers in California. 3 men have been found dead after jumping into water at Rattlesnake Falls, an isolating hiking area near Placer County, California. Now, authorities say they were notified that 3 members of a 6-member party had jumped into the water and that they had not been heard of since doing so. The sheriff's office calls the spot where the men went missing extremely remote and difficult to access, but a search party was still established. High winds and strong water currents disrupted the rescue effort, and conditions made it often unsafe to fly a helicopter near the scene. On Sunday, the sheriff's office confirmed that the individuals were indeed deceased. It is with heavy hearts that we share that the bodies of 3 men have been recovered, an official said in a statement. Our heartfelt condolences go out to their families and friends and all those affected by this tragic loss. A diver tasked with locating the bodies described the terrain and challenge of navigating the hills was brutal. The waterfall kept pushing me down, but I wasn't leaving without bringing those 3 souls back to their family, diver Juan Herrera on Facebook said following the discovery. Josh Robinson, our team backup diver, and I hiked 3 hours just to reach that 47-foot deep pool. I dove 4 times, close to 3 minutes each, freezing cold water and deep. Placer County officials warned that the water in Rattlesnake Falls is extremely cold, and the sudden change in temperature that occurs when one enters the water can lead to shock. The immediate danger of jumping into swift water is always cold shock, the county explained on its website. Cold shock occurs when the body is exposed to cold water, resulting in a rapid loss of breathing control, increased heart rate, and a gasp reflex, which can lead to involuntary gasping and hyperventilation, which, when you're in water, can lead, unfortunately, to drowning. Now, the identities of the deceased individuals have yet to be released. Rest in peace to the 3 adventurers, and we send our condolences to the family and friends of those loved ones. So be careful, do be mindful. I would have not thought about, the temperature, the cold shock, but I guess that is something that you really have to be mindful of. And, don't do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. Don't make your moms worry. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this to grown-ass adult people, but don't. Well, they are smarter than the rest of us. Killer whales have been seen grooming each other with sea kelp for the first time. Use of yes, Joe. Hey, Joe, I darkened my hair. I needed something different. My blonde roots were showing. So it looks like we now have proof that other animals are using tools, and marine animals, which is really kind of cool. Killer whales have been observed mutually grooming each other with a type of seaweed in the first known instance of a marine animal using tools in a way that was previously thought to be, more of the kind of bailiwick of primates and land animals such as humans. A group of killer whales, which is known as orcas, have been biting off short sections of bull kelp and rolling these stems between their bodies, possibly to remove dead skin cells or parasites. Now, this behavior is the first such documentation of mutual grooming in marine animals and is outlined in a new scientific paper. The discovery was made in a contained group of about 73 killer whales that live in the southern part of the Salish Sea, a section of the Pacific Ocean hugging the coast of Washington State in the U.S. and British Columbia in Canada. Researchers were surprised to see a whale remove a 2-foot section of bull kelp, balance it on its nose, then approach another whale to wedge the kelp between their bodies and rub it between them. At first, the scientists thought this was a quirky one-off, but they noticed this was a widespread behavior within the group, according to the paper published in the Journal of Current Biology. We started keeping an eye out for this behavior and realized it was a common, frequent behavior, which was a very exciting moment, said Michael Weiss, research director for the Center of Whale Research and the study's lead author. We realized we'd stumbled across a newly described behavior, which is, kind of remarkable. You don't even think it's a possibility to find something new like this when you're observing whales. Now, cetaceans, such as whales, have been previously seen with kelp draped over their bodies in a practice known as kelping. This behavior was seen last year and published in a new study. However, this differs because of the type of kelp that was selected, and that there was manipulation and work between two whales together. I'm not a whaleologist, but I mean, that's what. The allokelping occurred between all whales within the pod, but particularly between those closely related of a similar age involving those with a lot of dead skin. This has led researchers to posit that it's a grooming practice done to remove dead skin and help the whales stay free of parasites, but also to foster social bonds in that select group of animals. So there you go. It's an interesting idea. And it's interesting to learn something new about, maybe an animal or a group of animals and kind of their behavior that we didn't think about. In our final story, and this has to be the one for the take the cake and squid pro quo, I blame you. Well, mostly I blame Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the Florida of the Midwest. Change my mind. You are not reading that incorrectly. Apparently, an alligator was recovered from a Milwaukee house fire. I have no words. Why? Just why? Let me see if I can fast forward and we can see. Okay, I was thinking a big gator, but still a gator nonetheless. An alligator was recovered from the basement of a house on 14th and Scott Street in Milwaukee on June 21st after a fire had damaged the building. Now, Milwaukee Fire Department said that firefighters were dispatched just after 1 p.m. after reports of downed wires. The fire department eventually upgraded the scene from a full assessment to a second alarm. Fire could be seen coming from the rear of a 2.5-story house once crews arrived. Now, no one was inside the house at the time of the fire, but there was an alligator found in the basement once it was put out. Now, no firefighters were injured from either the fire or the gator, according to Milwaukee Fire Department. MADACC was called out for the alligator. Now, the fire department says the source of the fire is still being researched, but we don't think that, Lyle the crocodile or, Gary the gator did it. But it's an investigation. Who knows what an alligator is doing in Wisconsin in a house fire? Holy goodness, y'all. Well, those are the absurd, weird, and lawful law stories for this morning. I will see you guys in about 30 minutes for day 3 of Lori Vallow on to day 4. It'll be about a 2 or 3 hour tour on the Petty Express. If you want to hang out, we will be doing the Lori Vallow trial, the one for Charles Vallow. We will then, after Charles Vallow's trials, head directly into Brandon Boudreaux's trial, or Lori Vallow again in her crimes against Brandon Boudreaux. And then we will start on new stuff. I will be watching the 48-hour special on Suzanne Morphew and breaking that down. I do really want to get in on the bottom floor of that case since I wasn't really into it before. So thank you. I might be able to. I know that I can make finger waves. It just takes a lot of gel and time, and I haven't done it yet. but I will definitely consider it. Thank you all for spending part of your morning with me. And remember, you guys, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because you never know when you're going to find someone else's basement alligator. That has been your warning. Do not go into basements and do not find alligators unless you're in Wisconsin. Then pray before you go into a basement. Bye, you guys.